TBD was something else. He just be there, sitting, looking, lurking. No lines. Listen, all I'm saying is it didn't make sense.
I got every right how to talk, how I wanna talk. Catch me on a flight down south.
Hey Emmys, welcome back and happy new year. Today I'm bringing to you guys what so many of you want, a new Vampire Diaries video. It was taking me a minute to figure out exactly which video I was going to start off with first because I kind of wanted to do other things on this channel. But today we're going to be talking about the Heretics. I believe someone asked me, I think like in September or October, if I was going to, like, what my opinions were on the Heretics. And today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my thoughts on that whole segment of the Vampire Diaries. Also, make sure if you want me to talk about anything specific, leave a comment or like DM me on Instagram or contact me on Twitter or something so I can actually see what videos to put up in my queue to record. Like if it's something you would be interested in me talking about or creating a video on, whether it's about Vampire Diaries or a new series. But let me know, because depending, I might get to it sometime soon, or it might just be added to my queue of videos to record. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. So first of all, one of the things that got me about the Heretics in general was the fact that throughout the course of the Vampire Diaries, they constantly said you couldn't be both. There was a balance, so you couldn't be both vampire and witch. It was a constant theme that they preached about, and then they kind of tossed that idea out when the Heretics came along. And I don't know what it is, but when shows do that, it's like, it's like, why did you put so much emphasis on the idea that someone could not do both witch stuff and heretic stuff, you know what I mean? And I guess it makes sense if only siphoners can do it, but no, it doesn't make sense, because in Legacies, Hope became both, and she was a werewolf. Listen, all I'm saying is it didn't make sense, and they should have found a better way to, I guess, explain the reasoning behind it. Or you know what? What is the reasoning why siphoners are created? That's something they could have went into detail about. And I wish they would have, because, I don't know, it's like, does something happen when the mom is carrying a baby and the child, like, in her womb or whatever, and does it make her, I don't know, develop like a side effect, and then their baby becomes a siphoner? Like, you know, like, is there something that triggers it? That could have been something that they explored on the show, but they didn't. Alright, so nextly we're going to talk about Lily Salvatore. I don't know if I'm actually going to make a video on her, because I'm not going to lie, I wasn't that interested in her character, if I'm being completely honest. But she made a family out of, I guess, the siphoners, the people she chose to be in their little family clique or whatever of heretics. Pretty much forgot her old kids. We're not going to talk about that. I'm going to say that for another video. But why? I'm kind of wondering, the fact that they were siphoners, is that why she chose them? Or, like, what was the reasoning behind her choosing them? Because if y'all remember, she had changed Enzo, like, gave him some blood, and he died, and that's how he became a heretic. We don't talk about Enzo too, because him becoming a vampire and being cool even though he was dying from consumption didn't make sense either. But anyway, besides the point, I was really wondering, like, why did she choose those people to be her new family? You know what I mean? Was it specifically because they were siphoners? But then again, like I mentioned, Enzo wasn't a siphoner, so she just picked him. So it's kind of like, when she saw someone as an outcast, did she just want to bring them in and, like, be there for them? Or what was the reason that motivated her to be like, yeah, I want you to be in my life. You know what I mean? It's just interesting when you think about why somebody, like, I understand that she was a vampire and she couldn't necessarily go back to her old family, but why did you choose those people, and why did you end up causing the chaos that you did where you murdered all those people over the period of time since y'all were a family? You know, it just didn't click to me. So now I want to talk about Mary Louise and Nora. I actually like them. I really wish they would have kept them on the show. And that was another issue that TVD had, where they would bring in these LGBTQA. I'm not exactly sure what the acronym is now, but they would bring in characters who were gay or lesbians, and then they would kill them off. And I'm not gonna lie, I was way more interested in Mary Louise and Nora than some of the other characters that were on the show. I actually liked Mary Louise a lot, even though she was very possessive, and she did have that flaw of making Nora her whole world, whereas Nora seemed like she wanted to kind of be free and explore this new world, and she just kind of wanted to frolic and enjoy life and experience things, you know? It was really sad the way that they died. Like, I felt really bad for them when I saw how they were pretty much poisoning Mary Louise, and then they ended up killing themselves because, I mean, Nora didn't want to live without her, and their whole just story was sad. Like, I really didn't like the ending that they got. I will say, though, for a second, I thought that they were going to try to do a situation where Bonnie was, like, bi, and she was going to date Nora for a second when Mary Louise... No. When Nora had called off the engagement from Mary Louise because she was taking, what was his name? Malcolm? Julian, I'm sorry. When she was taking Julian's side of not believing Valerie. Like, I really thought they were going to have a situation because she was kind of slightly flirting with Bonnie and she called her beautiful and Mary Louise was getting jealous. And I was like, oh, they're going down this route. Okay, I'm not mad at it. But they didn't really do anything with that. They just pushed them back together, which was fine. But it would have been interesting to see Bonnie in a relationship with a girl, or like to have a fling with a girl if they did do something like that. But Julian was probably my most hated person on this show. Like, I can't really think of anybody on this show who I just disliked constantly, but Julian was the only person I can think of where I just did not like him, ever. Even when they introduced him, I was like, it's something about him, I just don't like him. I didn't like the way he beat Valerie to the point where she lost her unborn child and caused her all this trauma, and the fact that Valerie pretty much had to be around, you know, that man or whatever after the fact. I didn't like how he was manipulative, where he would manipulate Lily. She was being stupid. But I didn't like how he would manipulate her or manipulate their little group family, where he would want them to do certain things and then he would turn them on his side, or the way he tried to put him and their family versus Stefan and Damon. And don't get me wrong, I mean, she was with them longer, I guess, but it's just like, that's toxic than a mug. Like, why would you do that? And he was just such an asshole, if I'm being completely honest. I just didn't like anything about him. Everything about him was just trash. I really didn't care for him at all. He was not a good person. So, Beau was mute. Another issue. He was a black man with no stories. Can't talk. He was just there. Which, again, if y'all want to check out my my video where I rant about TVD being racist, y'all can. But yeah, he didn't really have too much for me to say. Like, he didn't really have too much of a story, apart from the fact that we know Raina Cruz stabbed him. Like, Raina Cruz stabbed him. That was the only thing that we really knew about Beau. And that he had knew Valerie before. So, again, it's TBD was something else. Like, they really... It's like, why couldn't somebody else be mute? Why did you make him mute? Out of everybody there. I don't know. And then the fact that they pretty much said that Beau used to be a great singer. But it was like, I'm trying to think, did we actually get to hear him sing at any point? I feel like we did see a little clip. And that was when Raina Cruz had stabbed him, but I just can't remember. But it was just like, bro, this man literally here and don't have no lines. He just be there, sitting, looking, lurking. No lines. And you know what else that was killing me too? Wasn't he, when Caroline was pregnant and Valerie was trying to like... Oh no, wait, was he not there? Because I'm starting to think like, was he chanting with them? Because it's like, how you gonna chant and you mute? You know, like how you make that work? Let's talk about something else because I'm getting irritated just thinking about it. Like, that junk just did not make any sense to me. So as for Oscar, I liked him apart from him just recklessly killing people and eating people and letting it pile up. You know, he just seemed like he wanted to be free. He didn't want to be under Lily's, like, ruling because she wanted to play mommy and keep everybody in check, which was understandable. She wanted to keep some sort of order and peace. But he just wanted to pretty much live life after being locked up for all those many years and desiccating, you know? And it was really interesting how you realized that Lily had pretty much been sending some of them to go and check on her sons, even when she wasn't, like, around and they thought she was dead. But overall, he seemed like a cool dude, but... You know, it was messed up when Valerie killed him. I understood why she did, but it was pretty messed up, you know? There was that one guy named Malcolm, but we didn't really get to know too much about him. I mean, obviously Lily and the rest of the Heretic family cared about him, but Bonnie and Damon killed him, so... Yeah, that's how that went. So it wasn't really much that we knew about what his life was or where he came from. So I actually really liked Valerie, surprisingly. Like, even when I first saw her, I was like, and they introduced her character, I was like, okay, I'm kind of okay with this chick. And then as you progressed and you learned her story, it was just like she had a sad background and she was just in love with a boy that she could never be with. And I really think that her and Stefan were better suited for each other, better than any of the other women Stefan had been with on the show. Just because Valerie was like a ride or die. Like, she was always there, and, you know, that honestly would have been the girl who Stefan would have probably married and had kids with, because, I mean, she was already pregnant. Even her helping Caroline have those babies, I just really feel Valerie would have been ideal for Stefan. She didn't seem like a horrible person. She was just trying to protect herself at the end of the day. I will say, I was so proud of her and happy when she realized, oh, this guy doesn't want me. I'm just gonna go live my life. And I really hope she did live her best life and find somebody else. Thinking about it, I'm thinking... I could imagine her going to the Bahamas and just chilling and meeting a really nice guy. Like, I'm really glad that she made it out and she survived everything. Because she was pretty much the only heretic that lived in the end. I feel like Stefan and her would have made it work too. Because I still say, I did a video about this too. I really did not like Stefan and Caroline together. And Valerie was the better choice for him. Like, at the end of the day. She was definitely the better one suited for him. Like, everything that they went through, the way her and Stefan were, it was just, it made sense, especially when Stefan had to run with her and when he was hiding, like whatever happened with her behind Caroline's back. It was just like, it just made sense. Because I still say, it's very crazy to me for someone, and don't get me wrong, I understand you should keep stuff in confidence if somebody tell you. But if you're with someone and you're dating someone and you're in a relationship and your ex from years ago, a whole century ago, your ex comes back, tells you about some trauma she had, right? But explains that that is the reason why she is there, or why she wants you to get rid of somebody, and then you don't tell your current girlfriend at least something like, this is her abuser, you know, something. It's just like, you're choosing your ex over your girlfriend, and it's not like Caroline was gonna do anything, you know what I mean? But it's just like, I don't know, it was just crazy to me that Stefan would basically go the distance to do certain things. And I understand that was his unborn child, but still, he would not keep Caroline in the loop at all. But anyway, y'all could go check out that whole video where I go on a consistent rant of why Caroline and Stefan shouldn't have been together. But yeah, it just shouldn't have happened that way. But those are my overall thoughts on the Heretics and the Vampire Diaries. More than likely, because I do plan on doing a whole reaction series, and it's not going to be like the reaction videos that y'all see on YouTube where people are watching the whole movie straight and they're just like, haha, you know. It's going to be me actually saying my reaction of, why did this happen? Wow, that was stupid. Like, you know, breaking down stuff, but not actually having like the clips of stuff happening. But I'm gonna probably do that with the whole Vampire Diaries series. I thought about doing it by the seasons, but I may do it by the episodes. I'm undecided how I'm gonna do it, if I'm being completely honest. Let me know if you guys would like me to do a reaction to the whole series, because it's something to say. It's a lot of things to say about practically every episode, in my opinion. But yeah, that's something that I'm going to be starting. If you guys want, you can check out my other Vampire Diaries videos, because I did opinion videos, and it's a mixture of thoughts that I have on the show. Some good, some bad. But check those out, and stay blessed, stay positive, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.